Can I get the PDS slides, please? There's only a few, it's okay. All right. Okay, so I wear many hats in my current role. One of them is I just took over as the PDS Chief Scientist. So in that position, my job is to help facilitate interactions between the planetary community and the PDS, right? And so just wanted to give you an update. I want this to become a regular part of basically all the AG meetings, trying to get more interaction, more feedback from you about what you need from the PDS, right? It's your PDS, so I want you to take a little more ownership of it. And want to tell you about some activities that the PDS is doing to make it easier for you to find, access and archive data. So if we could go to the next slide, please. Oh, can I do it? You can do it. Okay. So first of all, we have underway PDS Data Services initiative. So this is an effort to make it easier to find what you need. At the moment, sometimes you have to know the instrument that collected the data that you're using in order to go and find it, and you also need to know which node to go to. So we're trying to create a new set of user tools that make it easier for you to go and find any data set, broad data sets, before you have to go to a particular node. And so this is a work in progress, and we need your help for that. I'm going to ask for that in a moment. But we are also looking to make it easier to find data sets connected across themes rather than just a particular topic. We are about to release a survey that's probably coming out at the end of November. So we'll be sending that to the Lunar list. You'll be probably getting several notices about that. Really important that you fill that in, whether you're a PDS user or not. If you are, we want to know what you're doing with the PDS, where your frustrations are, what's working well, what isn't. If you're not a user, we want to know why that is as well. Okay, sometimes people just use data sets they collected on missions they worked on, for example. They don't go to the PDS. But anyway, so those are all coming. Next slide, please. A couple of new policies. One is about data release. We had an issue last year where there was uncertainty about whether data would be available in time for a particular ROSES call. It wasn't this community, but it did cause some consternation. So we have an internal policy now that is hopefully going to make sure that doesn't happen again. We're going to be very clear about data release timelines and deadlines, and you will all be informed of them, or you can go to the PDS website at any time and find out what they are. And also PDS support for ROSES proposals. Sometimes you need a letter from the PDS in order to, for example, put in a PDART proposal. That's been very ad hoc. Sometimes the nodes receive requests like the day before they're due. That's not very fair on them, and it doesn't give them a chance to assess what you need. So we are now instigating a policy where we require a request from you no later than 1 week before a deadline. Okay, we cannot guarantee to turn something around without that. Next slide, please. One conversation I had with Amy, I think this morning over when we were grabbing coffee, was if there are any specific tools or workshops or anything that you particularly need as part of the LEAG community, please let us know. So if there's a particular data set that you have trouble accessing, we can look into that. Or if there's something like, if you just need a sort of PDS 101, if you're an early career person, for example, and that might be useful, we can try and arrange to tag those onto LEAG meetings so it makes it easier for you to attend. So please let us know if there's anything like that you can think of that would be useful for your community. And then the next slide, which I think might be my last one. Next slide, please. Okay, finally, we're setting up a PDS User Alliance. So some of the nodes currently have their own user groups, but we are setting up through the engineering node, which sort of provides the backbone of the PDS, a user alliance, and we're looking for people to sign up to this. So we want your honest feedback on the PDS tools and services. We have new tools coming out. We're going to look for people to beta test those. And come up with use cases, right? We think we know how you're using the PDS, but we sometimes have no idea. It's always very different than what we think. So we're looking for people who'd be willing to provide feedback. It's not a huge time commitment. We really put you on our list, and you'll receive periodic emails asking for specific help in certain areas. So by signing up, you're not signing yourself up for many, many hours of support. It's really as you can help us. And if it's something that you feel qualified to do, we would really appreciate your help. And you can sign up for that through our help widget and also request help through that. So if you could go to the next slide. This has appeared on many of the PDS pages. You can click on that and it's a very simple form. It's basically just your name, contact details, and any problem you may be having. If you fill that out, we will get back to you within 24 hours, hopefully, with a solution to your problem. So that is on all of the PDS node pages now. So please start using it. Any feedback you have, we're pretty thick-skinned. We can take it, so bring it on. I think, do I have one last slide or was that the last one? Maybe that was the last one. I think I was doing this on the fly. So just want to say I'll be here for a little while longer. Maria Banks, where are you, Maria? Maria is the project scientist for the PDS. She's at Goddard. And I know David Holloway-Baker was here yesterday, but you know, we're sort of scattered through the community. And I mentioned the user tools particularly, but we are also looking to improve the experience of people archiving data, right? We know that that's not always easy. So we're looking for input from you on that end as well. So basically any comments about the PDS, please fill in the help form and sign up or come and see one of us about that. And the only other thing I wanted to say was nothing to do with the PDS, but as you know, there's going to be Ben Bussey, Ben Bussey and Steve Clark are running a workshop at the end of April. We have a special session at LPSC that we just approved, which is about science at the lunar South Pole. So the abstract deadline, I think, is the 7th of January. I can check that. And of course, those papers will be public at the end of January, so that may feed forward to the later workshop, but we hope to see some of you at LPSC with your South Pole science. And I think that's all I have. Thank you very much.